In this video, we'll take a look at how to access My Math Lab. So if you've taken a class before and accessed My Math Lab through the Pearson website, this is different. We have the My Math Lab embedded inside of our Canvas course. So the way to enter is to click on the My Lab and Mastering button. And what you'll see is an Open My Lab and Mastering. So before you open and before you go through all these, I've got steps in the Getting Started module on how to get your account set up in My Labs. So in the Getting Started module, there's information about how to enter My Math Lab with your access code. So you enter your Canvas course first in through the YC portal using your username and password. Select Canvas, select this course from the dashboard, click that button on the left, select to get started. So you'll first have to accept the licensing agreement. Then you'll sign in if you have an existing account, or you'll create a new account in Pearson. So now that you have an account, you'll have to pay for access to the system with three options. Option 1, purchase from the YC bookstore the access code, okay? Or number 2, you can purchase the access code directly from the site at this moment. This is the least expensive way. You'll need a credit card for this option, and you can purchase an 18-week access, which is the least expensive option. Then, if needed, if you're not quite sure yet and you want to explore, scroll down and you can get a temporary access. It doesn't send you a code, it just gives you temporary access for 14 days. That option is at the bottom of the screen. Then, after the 14-day free access is up, it will prompt you to fill in your account, your code. All right, so once you get your code and you're ready to access, when you click on My Lab and Mastering, the best way to do homework and assignments is to go to the website directly, not do it through our class. So when you click on Open My Lab and Mastering, it'll open to the front page, and this will be at the textbook, the Pearson home page. So it'll have gradebook, it'll have assignments and due dates that are coming up. When you click on and you're ready to do homework, if you click on the homework key, our first few homeworks are open. If you click on Show All, that first test will show up as well. Then inside here is where your textbook is. So chapter contents is the actual textbook. When you click on a chapter, chapter 1, section 1.1, well, you have some resources when you click on the chapter. There's a chapter opener, review, a chapter test, and then some case studies. The individual sections are where you have video presentations. So let me open those. A lot of these video presentations I've put on the notes in Canvas so that you have links on your notes, so you don't have to go through the extra step of getting here. What you want to use is the e-text. And the e-text is really exactly like the hard copy of the textbook. So when this opens, whatever page this is exactly the same as the page in the hard copy. So this is page 3, and this is exactly what page 3 looks like. So your textbook is included, and that's in chapter contents. All right, the next thing that's in My Math Lab, when you're ready to do homework after you have taken a look at the notes, read the section, looked at examples, when you're ready to do the homework, when you click on the homework number 1, when you click on a question, okay, this one is multiple choice, but the questions have, I have them set at, you have 3 tries. And if they're multiple choice, I think automatically you only have 2 tries. And if it's true or false, you only have 1. But if it's a fill in the blank, you have 3 tries. So let me just take a guess here. What happens? Check your answer. If you're incorrect, it will give you a prompt and it give you a hint. Try again. If you missed it again, on this one, there's a lot of multiple choice answers, so it's giving you more than 2. But it will say final check at the bottom. And if you miss it, it'll mark it wrong. It'll put an X. And then it will, in green, tell you what the answer is, and in red, tell you what your answer was. So I also have it set up that you have 3 questions for each homework. So you can click on similar question, and you have 3 attempts at this type of question to get it correct. So there's some help keys down at the bottom. Most students like view an example. This walks you through how to do the question, or it gives you some information. The get more help. Sometimes if there's a video, it will link you to a video on how to do something like that question. StatCrunch, I'll talk about a little bit later. Textbook, it will take you to the chapter in the textbook this question is from. And Ask My Instructor is how you ask me questions anytime. So you would write what you did and what you need help with in the box, and then click on Send. And what I do is check email every morning and answer homework questions. So that's how you ask questions on homework. And those are what your help keys are. All right, so I'm gonna leave that page. As you work on homework, it starts off at 0 and then it adds, notice mine says current score 0 out of 34. And as you get them right, it keeps adding points. So it automatically saves your work and you can work on it over a period of days. All right, so let me go back over to homework here. So those are homework assignments. They have due dates listed in our class, but if they're past due, you can still go in and work on them up until the day we take a test. So homework, even if it says past due, if the link is live, you can go in and work on them. All right, second thing that we have in here are tests. The tests are a little bit different. They are not timed, but the tests themselves are due. This particular test, the first test is due April 3rd. You have 2 attempts. They're not timed. And if you miss that due date, you have 3 days to take it with a 10% per day deducted from your final score. After that, you can't take the test at all. You get a 0. And then with homework, if you miss the due date, it's just a 0. So when you start your test, you can work on your test over a period of days. So the questions are here. You can work on it. Skip around, make sure you answer everything. And when you're completely done with everything on the test, then you click on Submit. And after you click on Submit, okay, of course I got all of them wrong, you can review. You can review the test right now, right after you take it, and you can take it twice. And again, 2 times is in there, not necessarily to take it twice, but if you click Submit by accident, okay? If you want to review your test or anything that you've opened, go to the gradebook and your test will be here. That's where you can review it before you take the test again. So it'll go through with red marks. Here's what the answer is, and if you click on it, it'll say what you answered. So you can go back and review your tests and your homework at any time in the gradebook. All right, StatCrunch is what we use. So let me show real quick on one of the homework problems when you have to use StatCrunch. All right, let me find a problem from chapter 3 that has some StatCrunch items. All right, I'm trying to find a homework assignment or a homework problem where you have, let me list all the, let me take a look. Chapter 3, here we go. All right, whenever you have a data set in the problem itself, there we go, there's a data set. The little box right here says open in StatCrunch. So that data set opens automatically in StatCrunch without you having to type it all in. So that's why I have us use StatCrunch, because the data sets from the individual problems open up in StatCrunch and save you a ton of time by having to type in the data. So StatCrunch will be available on tests and on homework. So that's very handy. All right, last item to talk about in here is there's some tools for success. See if any of these case studies, I think sometimes it gets overwhelming. And what I've done instead of having you search through here, reading the textbook is wonderful. And you'll also notice if we go to modules that the way that I've structured your notes, if we take a look at, let's see, 2 and 3 notes and resources. Chapter 3, there's a lot of StatCrunch technology. So when you open it, I've cut and pasted things from the textbook in here. So what your notes have is they have examples from the textbook, and then they're linked to video solutions. And sometimes those video solutions will be by hand only, if that's the only choice. And then I have a by hand StatCrunch and a TI calculator. And I include both StatCrunch and TI calculator just for your preference, but the technology labs kind of force you to learn how to use StatCrunch. So that's what the notes look like. I've linked videos from my math lab in here, and it's just kind of a condensed version of the chapters if you want to print these out. And if you're not quite used to that e-textbook, it's nice to have notes on the side. All right, so that's your tour of my lab in mastering. And if you have questions as you go through, please let me know. The grades in the course, let me put it on student view. As you complete in my math lab, what it will do is it will send the grades over here, and I'll also type in Canvas grades in my math lab, so you can check your grades in either platform, okay? All right, if you have questions, please let me know as you encounter them.